There we go. Man. TikTok had an update and it threw me off. What happened? What is happening? Ah, that was wild. That was crazy. What's up, Belle? How are you? You always get here so fast. All right. Sorry about that. My TikTok live studio was all of a sudden like, I got an update. I was like, oh shit. And then it took me a little bit. So sorry about that. What a weird intro for the night. How's everybody doing? Hey, Courtney, how are you doing this evening? We got Belle here. We got Courtney here. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? How you doing? Excuse me. I just finished book 2 and started 2. Nice. Very nice. Very nice. I'm excited for 2. Oh, excuse me. Did yard work today, so I'm super thirsty. But no, I'm excited. Hey, Pixie Girl, what's up? How you doing? How you doing? There we go. Now TikTok's connecting. There we go. It'll slowly start moving. Lazy day, read a little. Crescent City, nice. Very, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this one goes for sure. Oh. All right, yeah. Enjoy. I hope it is a good one. I hope it is. My camera look weird. Okay, never mind. It's just me. Maybe it's just me. Katie, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. How you been? Hope you've been well. Hope you've been well. All right, pull this little out. You just want more Ray? Ray's legit. Ray's a good one. Ray's a good one. We like Ray. Be like Ray. Be more like Ray. Oh, I got you, girl. No worries. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. I hope all is well in your neck of the woods and all. Hope everything is good. But yes, definitely avoid spoilers. This is a must-read series. I would definitely recommend it. Definitely. Loving it so far. Definitely. Hey, love. How are you? There we go. All is good. Nice. What are you currently reading? Give me. What are you currently reading now? Oh, man. Ooh, that one. All right. What is that? Oh, that's from there. It's because it's see-through. Derp. Red Rising. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited when I get to that one. I'm excited for that one, too. Oh, shoulders, stupid lawnmower and backpack today. Oh, there we go. Nice. Is it really good? Is it worth it? I hope it's worth it. Will it be next? I don't know. I'm very worried about what's going to be next because we're doing the Wheel of Faith. What is viewer wishes? What? So many things. All right. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. We got Belle. We got Courtney. Pixie's eating some food right now. Pumpkin Katie, she gonna be here for a little while and then she gonna bounce out because she ain't supporting. Well, I think there's just the 3 of us now. Yeah, I think they're down. We just down to the 3 of us now. We just waiting for everybody to show up. Hey, there's Emily. Hey, girl, what up? How was your day been? What's up? Ooh. I would have swore. Wait, what happened? I would have swore. I'm so confused. I would have swore I saw, man, am I seeing things? I would have swore Bobby Lee was here and said some stuff and then is gone. Now I don't even see the, that's weird. Okay, maybe I'm seeing, it's weird. Anyway, whoa, what's happening? Yeah, we're missing PQ. Okay, Bobby was here. Okay, I'm not losing my mind. Because, like, look at that. Speak of the devil. You say it and it shall come true. But I was even looking at my chat and all of it's, like, everything that Bobby said is gone. I was like, what the heck happened? I don't know. That's wild. What happened? Hello, hello. She was just speaking your name, was like, we are missing a P, and then she showed up. It's like she knew. Yeah, no, never. I'm sorry. Why? That's, I wish, I'm sorry. That's. Yeah, for real. For real. That's, oh, wow. I'm sorry. Here, I got some rune for you.
Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Balbaran
There you go. There you go. See, she's at the dispensary now. Okay. I was gonna feel bad, like she was trapped indoors and she couldn't go and she was stuck. No, but she's good, folks. She is good. Let's go. But now then she's got to wait. Now, how far is the dispensary from El Domicile? Like, you got a long trip? Like, oof. It closed at 10. Oh, okay. Belle's like, I'm a precog. Excuse me. Cool. 10 o'clock closer. Wow. That's, well, I don't know. We don't have dispensaries here. We don't have those. Yeah. Yeah. About that. Anyway, so how's it? I need to, yep, exactly. You gotta, we're still old school around here. You gotta know a guy to know a guy, and it's usually pretty sketchy for a guy, but well, you know. She said help wild berry or platinum cherry gelato. What is that? Like the flavored dessert? Like, you can't get like any Alaskan thunderfuck or like deaf or something like that. Platinum cherry gelato. Which one has the highest terp count? That's what I would ask. Which one has the best terp count? That's what I want to know. And then she says cherry. I mean, I don't think you can't go. I mean, yeah. We still have things like skunk and roadkill. You're attempting to play Dying Light 2? Oh, Lord. I was never good at I played them, but I was never good at them. Didn't give them too much of a try, I won't lie, the Dying Lights. Didn't give them too much of a chance. That was back in the day. Platinum cherry. Well, okay. I mean, I would assume it. I mean, it has the word platinum in it, so it's got to be like good, right? It's got to be the good. I'm terrified already, and I'm just in. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Good luck. Good luck. I had a friend that played that. I think he was pretty decent at. I don't know. I don't remember. Was it that? I think it was. Or was it one? I don't remember. I don't remember what game it was. Houseless. Oh, I was like, how's Liz's face liking at guitar? I was like, what? No, Liz face. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, so far she's good. I think she just got to the. She hasn't read in a few days. She's been in a drawing thing. But she just got past the bog. The bog. Yeah, it was the bog. Yeah. The bog. She's like, this is fucking weird, man. So that's where she's at now. Oh, or she calls it the bogigi. She likes to call it the bogigi. Yes. Sorry, my bad. My bad. The bogigi. So, oh, bye. Oh, she's here. She's gone. So, anyway. The human connection with the plug. That's funny. Where is it? Man, I tell you what. Like, the regs, y'all are, there's only 6 of us here tonight. I'm kind of wondering what's happening to everybody. I hope everybody's okay. Well, I mean, you give me I made a new button. If that makes anybody excited. The human connection with the plug, right? Courtney's like, what? What did you say? You gotta find the new button. You gotta find the new button. Find the new button. Find it. So there's 10 buttons now. There's 10 buttons now. And see, I was gonna wait until everybody was here, but I was gonna say, you know what? To motivate with the who's undefeated to help with the pushing, I was gonna say every time y'all break the record for most likes for a stream, like the current record is 108K. That since we started really paying attention, I think it's 108K. That's what I'm going with. Unless anybody can pull up a picture more, that's what I'm going with. But every time y'all break that, I will make a new button of whatever you like. Like if you're like, ooh. Uh-oh. What up, dog? What's up?
It was crazy. No, inside we're laughing because the M&B next door are tweaking, I'm sure. The lights are on like a rainbow changing pattern.
Oh.
Like a moving, flashing kind of. So,
oh, Lord.
Next door tweaking.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Lisa? Thanks for the gifts. Oh, wow. Ah, wow. That's crazy. That's funny. That's funny. They're probably like, no, on the back porch. Press the new one. So you got to find the new one. But again.
No, I'm not. That one's for him to remember.
Hey, welcome back, Pixie. I hope dinner was good. But yeah, so if y'all break the record, then we'll make a new button. And you'll be like, I want a Manon button, a Manon button. And then we'll make the Manon button. Or you could say, I want a buzzard button, and then we'll just make a button of just the buzzard. Yeah. You can be specific, but that's what you'll get if you break the record. So it's just ask and help me make it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, dear.
All right, we're playing the kitty game.
Oh, the kitty game. Nice, the kitty game. Have fun. Are y'all doing the blindfold and ears or just the blindfold? Nice. Respect it. Maybe gloves, you don't know? A couple of administrative notes. Oh, are we ready for administrative notes at this time? I mean, I don't know. Is it administrative note time? Why? Okay. What are administrative notes? What is corporate saying now? Corporate is really starting to, when corporate grinds my gears. All right, what do we got? What are the administrative notes? I need an administrative team. Courtney requested red and green flag threads for all the series. Q second. What? Okay. 1 second. I got you. Hang on a second. I got this. Hang on a minute. I didn't know how to be like that tonight. Okay, what's up? Okay. All right, I didn't. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. What do we got? We can have a all books need a red and green flag thread. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. We had it first, second, and third? Yeah. Approved. Flag threads, red and green, every book. Approved. No problem. You got it. You got it, dude. Anything else? I mean, we're still waiting for a few people. So if you have a few cases that you are prepared to bring up forth, then we can go. Throne, okay. So we want to start doing a red and green, and we want to start with Throne of Glass, a red and green flag. And we're going to start with Throne of Glass. That's what I'm understanding. Approved. I like it. Picasso. I like it. We can iron out the details later in the cord. You know what I'm saying? To make sure we're there. And then if you want, with the trajectory and glide path with the way ahead, and that way we can present it, and then we will present it approved. You know what I mean? Excuse me. I think I like where you're going with that. I saw the flag in there. Excuse me. The new thread for Ashen for the red and green, but I haven't clicked on it yet to actually get in there because I've been so busy today. But yes. All right. I like it. I like it. Anything else? Anything else to be brought before Judge Wise? Or we will close this quick small session. Yes, I think we should just do the main first. And by main, they have to, we'll say, significant role. If we need to, we can have a sidebar session or brain, and we can use brunch to divvy. What words am I trying to use? Divide who goes into what section, if that makes sense. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say right now. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, good, good, good. So yeah, we can figure out where it goes. We'll get everybody up in the box. We can. So yeah, we'll do that. That will be Sundays. So I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead. If you want to put together a little something and we can present it in the Discord, and that's what Sunday's brunch will be. We can present the cases. You can start working it, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do it that way. And then we'll have everybody there. We can have the jury of your peers. They will take the vote, and I will solidify the jury's answer. I like it. Haha. Ooh, there we go. What is going? There we go. All right. Does anything else need to happen tonight? There's not many of us tonight. I'm sad. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad. She says, give me green, I'll stick to theme. That kind of rhymes. Green and give me the green, I'll stick to the theme, if you know what I mean, because she's corny. Whoop, whoop. She's like, I don't see red flags. Wow. I'm not gonna lie, Courtney. You were, you're not. We were kind of holding out on fucking Jonas for a little while, right? Like, I tell you what. You can't believe I was late. The Mormon Housewives show was distracting. Yeah, was it that, or were you actually scouting out all the possible entrances to the new Lego store? I think that's more of a likely story, honestly, Carissa. I think you were probably scouting that out. It's okay, exactly, Courtney. Hey, you were hardcore Chona. For some reason, I was. See, I got you. For some reason, I was hardcore Skadra. You know, we all make small mistakes. Oh, this is up. What is that? That's my filming camera. Sorry about that. It was all shaking Miss Shakerson. There we go. But seriously, Carissa, how excited? I'm sorry, Ernisha. How excited are you for that Lego store? That looks super cool. They are going to give me the key. Ha 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 ha. We learn a lot of our ways. Uh-oh. Why is P looking not good? Huge. She said I'm brick. She's so lady bricked. He was blonde and I knew he was shady already. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Okay. Oh, I was just about to say, Alejandra was on the buttons last night. Hey! I was gonna ask her who she wanted to pass them to, but she's not here, and then she showed up. That's so cool. Demi Discord Joan. What? People? Oh, you're good. Oh, no. I was just saying how last time you were on buttons and we were going to pass it to somebody. That's all. All right. Are we done with court? I think we're good. I think we've set court up, right? We're good for Sunday. I think we set that up, right? All right. Because if not, all right. Court's coming at us. Court is no longer in session unless I got to go back in session really quick. All right. Court is out of session. Dismissed. Adjourn. That's what adjourn. I got to learn the lingo better. I watched so many court movies you think I would know, but apparently I don't fucking ruin. It's your fault. You always such a good fault to have, though. All right, anyway. All right. Take my wig off. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Ha. All right. There we go. Whew. Oh, wait, Liz didn't come back out. Your hair! I don't know what to do with my hair. I'm sorry. I think I'm in that weird stage again. All right, so who are we going to pass the buttons to tonight? We're going to get started here within the neck. Don't speed home. Be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. Be very careful driving. I don't need to have a Doctor Strange going on, okay? No speeding, please. All right. It is. I think it's just it has to. It's got to get a little longer again. I think it's going to get back out to like shoulder length. I think that's where we're. I'm not sure. I don't know, but it's in that weird stage right now. But yes, for those that weren't here yesterday, some more admin notes. We'll get some more admin out of the way. We solidified a guaranteed no matter what, unless real life intervenes, schedule. We will be Sunday brunch. We'll start with Sunday. So Sunday brunch, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. That will be a standard as we always do. And then Mondays and Wednesdays, we're going at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. No matter what chapters they are for the 5, we're doing that. And then as we do the series, the special chapters, we'll make sure we get those in. Those will be on whatever days. But that way, if, everybody can plan a little bit better now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get a little bit more planability. And then yes, I must say, if you go on the Tiki-Talkie list, worked on a new bio on my Tiki-Talkie. It's pretty damn cool. And if you know it, you'll see. But yeah, check that out. She says, and we don't go so long with that. Yes, that way we don't go long without the lives, because it was. Look, I'm not gonna lie. It was almost a week, I think, because we didn't do the Sunday brunch because it was our anniversary. I think I went live that Thursday. Hey MJ, what's up? Welcome. So yeah, we didn't do the Sunday, and then we went all the way until Thursday. She's like, I bounced just to go see the bio. Right? I think it's perfect. She did that. We were talking. I was like, well, we got to post the schedule somewhere, but I don't know how to fit it in. And she's like, bet, say less, babe. And grabbed my phone, and then she was like, here you go. I was like, oh, that is fucking perfect. Got caught up at work. You're amazing. I appreciate that. Seriously, anybody that takes time out of y'all's day to just stop by, and then to find out that you got so much stuff done at work just to come in and be here tonight too. Y'all don't understand how much I appreciate that. Seriously. Right, Pixie? She nailed that bio, right? It is so freaking perfect. It kept everything that we had, but gives everything that we need. It's legitness. Gotta get my chair right. My shorts are short today. I got some old golfer shorts on, and they're just acting all weird. Right? She did an amazing job on it. So, all right. Oh, nice. If you click the Y's at the top of the live, it pops out. Oh, that's cool. Oh, well, I appreciate that y'all do this. And seriously, Pixie, I am excited to play No Man's Sky. I know when it first came out, I was excited, and then it bombed, and I know they fixed it, but it's so big. Nobody to play with, but now I got somebody to play with, so I'm excited. I just didn't get a chance to play it today because I had to get the yard work done. Stupid yard work. I don't know. And then where Q and D, I don't know where Q and DW are. That's what I hear, but apparently, since it got such a bad rap at the beginning, nobody gives it a try, and it's just, since nobody wanted to give it a try, freaking, I got nobody to play with. But now we're going to play it. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited for that. Yell at them in the Discord. Hey, in the Discord. Right? That's funny. But yes, no, I did get it. I should. I saw yesterday. I accepted the gift. Excuse me. Ruinous That's a good rune right there. A good sticky rune. Yeah. Wait, which rune is sticky? Which is rune making you sticky? Is you making rune sticky, or is the rune sticky? Which rune is sticky? We need context matters. Both. Oh, snap. That's what she said. She said DW forgot. What? She busy today, probably. She a busy person. It's okay. I'm not gonna die in this house. All right. So this went in an interesting direction, right? Okay. I am excited. I am excited for Kingdom of Claw. Is it Kingdom of Claw or Kingdom of the Claw? Hey, D-Dub, what's up? Oh, Vig's got some stuff doing tonight. No worries. That's all right. Everybody got stuff. Oh, hang on.
Shame. Shame.
So yeah, it's just Kingdom of Claw. It's Kingdom of Claw. So this is what we're getting into tonight. Kingdom of Claw. You'll be finishing this one tonight? Nice. So I gotta keep it back here in the back, unfortunately. Otherwise the tiki-talkie gets mad. But hopefully everybody sees it. I don't know. Maybe we'll try tonight. Maybe we'll see. Maybe since Sean is moving, he's been doing his big move. He's having to move states. He has been busy. That's where Sean has. They think I'm like promoting it or something, and I think that's what they said sometime. Well, they did that when I put it up there with when we were in Fourth Wing, the Imperium series. Remember but I'm not seeing anything pop up now. But Nika was telling me that might have been because I didn't have my page set for business, or I don't know, something stupid. So we'll put it right there. I think it's good. Okay. He's MIA from moving. I was just, yeah. You said guys. What do you mean guys? Guys. What do you mean guys? Who said guys? What? Not guys. Yes, there's a new button. There's a new button. So there's now, I'm going to count them again. Hang on. I switched it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's now 10 buttons. Okay. So there's 10 buttons now. Yay. We love buttons. Okay. And now we have a record currently for most likes on the stream is 108K. If you can break that 108K, or anytime you break, so once you break it, say it gets 109, right? Once you break 109, every time you break the record, you'll get to pick a new button. So you can say, I want a buzzard button, and I will make you a button of nothing but Rowan. And then you can say, I don't know. We already got a rune button. I mean, is there anybody else really besides a rune? I mean, you know. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? So that's what we're going to do. So that way you can earn more buttons. And it'll help motivate. You could have a Riddick button. Exactly. You could have a Lydia button. Whatever, you will get to decide the button. You will get to decide the button if you break the record. Okay? So, who? Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. What is that one called? What was that? Cool. A Manon button. See, you can get a Manon button. Okay. So, we need a button for our favorite character. Whatever you pick, you tell me we'll make it. Wing Leader makes this work. Nah. All right. So Alejandra had the button, and who would like? She is gonna pass. Who we're passing the button to tonight? So peace. The DW's gone. Did she was here? Then she gone too. I think she here. She gone. I don't know. Oh no, she's still here. Okay, there she is. Okay, so she's here. She's had it. Alejandra's had it. I believe M has had it. Has Q has had it. Yeah, Q's missing. She might still be working. It's still like 6 o'clock. I don't know. Pixie, have you had the button? Has Pixie had the button yet? MJ hasn't had the button. MJ, are you? Yeah, MJ, do you want the button? MJ? Courtney's had the button. Yeah. Belle had it. Okay, so Pixie, are you going to be here Wednesday? Because we'll go ahead and get Wednesday knocked out. If you're gonna be here Wednesday, you get it Wednesday, and then MJ will have it tonight because I said her name first. Okay, cool. So then we'll do that. MJ, you are the keeper of the buttons this evening, and Pixie will be the keeper of the buttons on thine Wednesday. Ha ha ha! I like it, Picasso. I like it when things work out swell. All right, so you are all ready. Wow. All right. Woo, y'all are already smooshing the buttons. Emily's like, I want Sunday brunch. All right, Em, you got it. All right, so remember, okay, there are 10 buttons. 10 buttons. The way, remember, it's gonna work is 5K. You'll get one. So one, oh damn, y'all already hit 10K. Y'all wanna see some stuff. Okay, 10K. I already did the 5K. Y'all are getting organized. It's getting crazy. All right, so we're starting with 10K. MJ, what would you like for your 10K? And then we have, it'd be 22. So it'll be, you have to get to 35K for a full round. All right, she's going to start out with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First button is safe. Enjoy. There we go. What a way to start the night. What a good button to start the night. All right. So, before we get into Kingdom of Claw, is there anything we need to discuss? Or are we good to go? I think we're good to go, right? Everybody's with us so far? Courtney, are you home yet? Are you home yet? You said you was driving. Are you home yet? Okay, good. Good. P, are you home yet? Or are you still traveling? Mondays are dance night. What song is that button? She is. Okay. I will have to, we pulled it up last time. We've discussed it last time. But hey, listen, you're still there. You're dancing. If you wanted to, you could. You just sit there and watch. But if you want, you could. Woo. Because you're like, they do the gummy bear. I'm a gummy bear. Yeah, P used her. What was it? It was some old app. It was like Genified or something. What was it? Shazam. She used this Shazam app to find it. But anyway, all right, let's get started. I sit in my car and read, actually. Oh, big. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Touche. Okay. Yeah. Then yeah, I would sit in the car and read too. The big stuff. Now I thought it was a little like, I'm a gummy bear. No, okay. Darn. I'm gonna get it all right. Trust me. By the end of this, I'm going to know. If y'all only know. I'm going to know what y'all's. You know him. Anyway. Hi, Sam. What's up? All right. They close the blinds and gates the recital so nobody can see the performance. I'm sure they don't want it leaking. Yeah. All right. So tonight we are starting Kingdom of Claw. MJ's got the buttons, and I think we are ready. All right. So we ended with. I want to make sure I did my videos today. They were on a horse. They were riding to link up with everybody. Yeah, they were linking up on the horse. She just started humming. And then we got the epilogue with Saga, who now realized that her sister is freaking alive. And now they're both like, I'm going to do what I got to do to find my sister. And that's where we're starting, I guess, ish. I don't know. But here we go. Are we ready? I think I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do this. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all voices. Children. That's a wrestling line. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, voices of all ages. So wise beyond the story proudly presents to you Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters. A wise production. Prologue. Let's do it. 17 years ago. 17. Okay. We are time. Son of it. It was a good thing queasiness had been trained from Ivar Ironheart as a child, because victory smelled an awful lot like blood and shit. We are starting out again. I came in like a Viking. Doge. It starts out with blood and shit. Doge. The scent drifted on the wind as Ivar paced the path into the black sand beach. Behind him, Askaborg, the new castle, loomed over a fresh boatload of Norvlanders, thralls laboring to clear the corpses from Sunnivik's streets. Before him, a woman was secured to the ruined pier as the tide flowed into the bay. What are we at? Frustration gathered in Ivar's gut. He vanquished King Yarten and had taken Isildur's throne for himself. He should be able to relax at last, but instead, this. Ivar let himself remember the look in Volsik's king's eyes as he told him he'd been blood-eagled while his people looked on. But even the memory of peeling the king's flesh from his back, cracking ribs open and pulling his lungs from his body, did little to temper Ivar's current irritation. Well, yummy. Tell me, he bellowed at the infernal stubborn woman, what is this weavering, Galdra? But she only pressed her lips together. Strands of brown hair were plastered to her face, the tide swirling around her shoulders. How much longer did the woman have? 15 minutes? Ivar paced another lap into the sand. Now that Isildur was claimed, Usur demanded Ivar set his focus on his next campaign to raise strong sons. Oh, that's always a fun campaign. I failed that one and raised 3 strong daughters. Success? Failed. Or failed successfully. I don't know. Successful success? I don't know. They're not failures, so it's a success. But they, no boys. Anyway, digressing. One of the sea's king's ancestors and claimed the next isle of Usur's name, the other to inherit Isildur's throne. But before he could consider any of that, Ivar had to ensure his Novalander wife could bear him sons. How do you ensure that a woman? What? Okay, little. Oh man, why we got? What is with the names, y'all? You can tell I am nowhere near. Oh, okay. Little Yesra? No, it's Yarisa. Yarsa. Little Yarsa. Fucking names suck. Little Yarsa was a few years old, and while his iron heart warmed a few degrees in her Itza? That is not Itza. Itza? Irsa. Okay, Irsa. All right, I was about to say, if that's a T, we about to stop. All right. Irsa. Okay, Irsa. You know, there was somebody else that was supposed to be like that. Irene, Yenri, Yirsa. Her name is going to be Yirsa. You want to name her Yirsa? Oh, sorry. Okay. Little Irsa, a few years old, and while his iron heart warmed a few degrees in her present, she was still only a daughter. It was sons Ivar needed, strong, capable warriors to carry out Usur's edict. Without sons, he was shackled. He'd done his husbandly duty. He'd even set aside his whores for 2 months now. What a good guy. Another good guy. He just said, whores, you go sit over there and I'm going to deal with my wife. What a swell guy here. Fucking chode. What the fuck, man? Oh, wow. Yet month after month passed with Signy's blood coming on cue. The maesters and midwives could find no physical deformities, but Ivar was growing impatient. If his wife was defective, he must know so he could find an alternative, and quickly. Which was how Ivar found himself standing in the doorway of a ramshackled home belonging to a Galdry woman. He was familiar enough with the magic-wielding warrior of Isildur, the impossibly strong blade breakers, and impossibly quick hair feet. And of course, the infernal shadow hounds who slipped past Ivar's lines caused chaos in their war camps. Shadow hounds. Is that what Ray is? Okay. But he was told this woman was a different type of Galdry with the gifts of the mind, a weaver, they called her. The rest, Ivar did not understand. Threads of a past, present, and future, she told him, a prick of his blood, and the weaver could find his thread in a web work of the world. Wow, that's interesting. Would weave them into a tapestry. All Ivar drew from this talk was that the woman could glimpse his future. If he could only reassure himself he would father sons, Ivar could set his frustrations aside and begin his reign in earnest. But it had all gone awry. The woman had taken his blood and had gone into a strange trance and worked at her loom. After hours of weaving a tapestry filled with bright colors, a black thread had appeared. The weaver had recoiled, had turned the king with a bloodless pallor. My apologies, your highness. I cannot complete the tapestry today, she said. Might you return the morrow? You will finish the tapestry, Ivar growled, nodding at his chief herdman, Magnus Hansen. Had stepped forward, drawing his blade and holding it to the woman's throat. She swallowed, then turned back to her weaving, and with that, she continued. Hours later, when the weaver had stepped away from her loom, Ivar had approached the tapestry. At the top, he saw the past, the forest, the fjords of Norvalander, a bear and a woman in white. It transitioned to the Battle of Isildur, battle axes and berserker warriors, a crown made of claws. At the bottom of the tapestry, where Ivar might have expected to see blue of the ocean or perhaps sea king-proud ships, was an angry mix of black and crimson. He stared at the piles of corpses and V-shaped pillars dripping blood, and at the top of the pile, a king. There was no mistaking the king's identity, not with the long blonde hair and twin braids in his beard. The weaver had seen his death. Which is how Ivar now found himself pacing the beach, ravens screaming over the churning dark sea. Ivar could read a person well enough to know the weaver had a greater understanding of the threads she revealed. But this foolish woman refused to divulge any details. He glared at the woman. Her lips were nearby blue, water lapping just below her chin, hands secured above her head. It would take but a single word of Ivar's men to shoot her through her minds, freeing her from her watery grave. But hours had now passed as the tide flowed into the bay, and this weaver had not revealed a thing. Why would she choose death over the truth? Whatever knowledge she holds, she values it more than her own life. She mused, realization crystallized, and he whirled to Magnus. The secret endangers someone she loves. Magnus tugged at the thick warrior braid cresting along his skull. A child, his keen eyes narrowed. Shall I root out her kin? Wordlessly Ivar nodded, watching watching his herdman's broad back as he ambled into the streets of Sunnavik. He will bring me your child, Ivar called to the woman, hoping Magnus had guessed right. And when he will cut off your parts until... Wow! And then he will cut off parts until you share what you've seen in your threads. What the hell? The corners of her mouth tightened ever so tightly, and Ivar knew he had her. We shall start with fingers, slow, steady cuts. I have my healers called to bandage the wounds. We wouldn't want the child to bleed out too quickly. This motherfucker is a bitch tits. What the hell? The woman's eyes flowed open and she didn't even bother to hide her terror. Foolish woman. Ivar shook his head. The scream shall be the worst part for you. They will carry clear across the water. They will fear the streets of Sunnavik. And all will understand what it means to cross their king. Cunt! It's a British word! The woman's mouth opened then closed. She now had to tilt her head upward to draw breath. The tide's pace had increased, and it wouldn't long be until she submerged completely. Do you know of Magnus Hearteater? His skill with the knife is unmatched. He's known for opening one's chest while they still breathe. Pulling out the heart and eating it fresh. Please, she begged, please take my life, but not that. Please, anything but that. The decision is in your hands, woman, growled Ivar. Tell me what you read and I will spare your child. He paused in thought. I will order my men to shoot you down from the post, and so you will be set free to return to your kin. Galder! Ivar's mouth snapped shut as he stared at the woman. Galder, that strange Isildurian magic. Explain! He barked. You will. She coughed out a mouthful of salt water. You will meet your end by a Galder's hand, she called out before a wave crashing into her, submerging completely for a heartbeat. Ivar's brows plummeted. His iron stomach gave a single, queasy lurch. Meet his end by Galder's hand? What else? He demanded. That's all, called the woman. There's nothing else. Free me, she pleaded. Not a moment before another wave struck, salt water rushing into her lungs, more coughing, more splurting. She fought out against her binds with raging cry. Free me! Ivar turned his back to her. By the time Magnus returned, an unconscious child slung over his shoulder. The pillar was submerged, and a plan had solidified in the king of Isildur's mind. Schmill. I'm not reading that one, but y'all understand what he's saying. I understand. He wants to schmill the little people, said Ivar coldly, striding toward Askaborg. And gather the Galdra. Things will be changing in this kingdom. What a fucking cunt. That's a British word, TikTok. It means he's a bitch. Wow. What a fucking... That guy. Holy. Okay, 22K. Nice job. Yeah, like he might. I tell you what, he might be above. Like, yeah, that is some. That's yeah. Anyway, I'm. He might. I'm telling you. Okay, you were at 10. You got. Yeah. Oh, you got 2 buttons. So 2 more. So we got a total of 3 buttons that first round. All right, and she's going in with 3 and 8. 1, 2. Four, five, six, seven, and here is for all the gifts. Y'all are just making this place even better as we go. All right. So we are starting your 22K. So you'll get, hey, you get your 25K. We got 14 people. Double it, that is the 30. So you're going to have to get to 50K for a button tour. 50K for a button tour. Okay. Emily is collecting. What is happening? What's going on in the cord, y'all? What's going on in the cord? What channel? All right, I'm gonna open up the cord. Hang on. What's happening in the cord? I'm going looking in. Guys, Callie Hart, the out there, Quicksilver, just like my comment asking about. Oh, let's see this. What? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Girl, you are doing it. Look at that. Right? The media director is media directing on the Tiki and the Talkie. She is killing it. Girl, I tell you what, I hope I don't mess up all your hard work. Because you're kicking ass, girl. I tell you what, MJ, let's pick a button for that one. Let's pick a button for that amazing collection. I'm putting my title. I love it. She's going with 1. I like it. Nice and safe. Wait a smart thinking.
Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Balbaran Fae.
Oh, you absolutely should. And honestly, P and Q and all the others that have additional, if y'all have additional duties that y'all have given yourself, you should definitely put them in there. I'm just saying. I agree, MJ. That is the best button. That is still my favorite. Rune. Okay. Rune is always going to be button 1 until Rune is not button 1. That's all I will say. Q, I'm head of the red flag committee. Ah, yes. P, yes. You can inform her of the flag committee has been approved. Y'all can discuss that one. Cherry pie is your favorite. Okay. Rune will always be number 1. I don't know if anybody will take Rune ever. Throw a wrench in it and change the order just once. Maybe. But if it does, it will be years, months, years, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Anyway, yes, that'll be Court on Sunday. I'm excited for brunch on Sunday with Court. It's gonna be so good. We will have to sit down and talk one day just to make sure I understand how y'all want to run it. But okay, y'all are getting some free button pushes here. Let's get into it. Kingdom of Claw by Demi Winters. Chapter 1. Here we go. All right. Oh, we get little cool designs on the top of this ones now. All right. Chapter P the reader. Oh no, I'll be driving home from Windaby. What is Windaby? Oh no. We'll figure it out. Okay, we'll figure it out. All right, chapter 1, 2 days west of Copa. Scylla Norvig had once vowed no force in this world could draw her to the true north of Isildur, but clearly she underestimated the gods' twisted sense of humor. Because here she was on a horse, named Horse, with X eyes, heading for that very place. The canyon's black walls climbed up on either side of them. As Horse walked beside the flat-bedded river, nature had made valid attempts to reclaim the space. Moss and greenery carpeted the riverbanks and exposed ledges, but black volcanic stone dominated. Excuse me. The sheer canyon walls, stark and raw in their beauty, they'd ridden through the canyon for 2 full days now. The sun rose and set, the world moving as though it hadn't been smashed to pieces. But with each passing day, Scylla's spirit sank lower. It was starting to settle in. There would be no Copa. Instead, there was Klastragard. Scylla exhaled. Ray claimed to know people in Klastragard who could help her hide from the Queen and the Clinari. She thought it would be safe for her, but Scylla knew better than to hope. Her foolish heart had been bruised too many times. The truth was, there was no safe place for her, not now that she knew her true name. Asa Volsky. Heir of King Ivar's sworn enemy, hunted by Queen Signy for her mysterious wicked plans, political pawn to those in power, easy reward for those who were not. The name brought nothing but misery. Chest tightening, Scylla clamped her hands around the saddle horn until her knuckles grew white. Not here, not her, not her. Scylla drew in a long breath, exhaled it slowly. Copa had been Matthias's decision, and Kalisgrad was Ray's. As the days wore on, the idea of choosing herself grew in Scylla's mind. Perhaps there were better opinions for her than the northern wilds of this kingdom. A southbound ship leaving Isildur had a pleasuring feel to it. She could go in the southern continent or Carthia, perhaps anywhere she could fade into obscurity. That ain't happening. You about to become queen, girl. Destiny. For the time being, Scylla had reined herself to Rain's plan. History for now. It was easier not to decide for herself. A relief if she were being honest, but between the black walls of the canyon, Scylla had nothing but time to think, to remember their names. Elias Selvig. To Elias. Matthias Norvig. Matthias! And skidamarinky dinky dink, skidamarinky doo. Skegrugurgem. Good men, all dead because of her. Perhaps living was her punishment, to wake each morning with the anguish of their blood on her hands. With the ache of Jonas' betrayal etched into her soul, knowing that Meta was in the Clinari prison, suffering at the hands of her captors. Certainly Scylla bore the bruises of Copa, a beating so thoroughly her eye had swelled up, her ribs ached with each slight movement. Even so, she couldn't help but think she deserved far worse. Is Emily leaving for the night? Hubby's ready to play. Oh, good night, Em. Have fun. Hey, Allie, good love. Welcome, welcome. Don't worry about being late. Welcome, welcome. We're glad you showed up. All right, where were we? She bore the bruises of Copa, the beating so swelled even though she couldn't help but think she deserved but far worse. They rounded a bend, the canyon widening. The lower levels of the walls eroded away in one spot, leaving a thick black spire topped with the wider rock. They called it Halbruch's Hammer, said Ray from behind her. We will camp here tonight. There was an overhang there to shelter under plenty of grass for horse. Her mind drifted to the rumble of his voice along her back. It was impossible to keep their distance while on horseback, and in her exhaustion she'd given up trying, though he never admitted to anyone but herself. His presence behind her, a solid wall of warrior in more ways than one, was reassuring. Scylla, she shook her head, trying to despair the haze clouding her mind. Ray had dismounted and was staring at the small crescent-shaped scar at the corner of her eye. Or back to the scar. Stop staring at it, she wanted to scream. The scar was her damnation. It had allowed those men near Skadri to identify her, had gotten her father schmilled. Scylla had turned her head, dismounting from horse. Over the past days spent traveling together, she and Ray had settled in a routine of sorts. Mindlessly, Scylla removed horse's saddle and brushed her down, while Ray pulled supplies from the saddle sacks and set up camp. By the time horse's coat gleamed and she wandered to the lush patch of grass, Ray had a fire roaring. As it happened, he was remarkably adept at kindling a fire. Yeah, he could kindle that fire. Kindling a fire, I'm sure, from the inside. Even in the wettest woods. She sank into the grass, pulling at the errant thread dangling from her cuff. It was Ray's tunic, as there were breeches belted around her waist. His clothing swam on her, but it didn't matter. She burned the red dress Valve had put her in. If only she could burn the memories of his hands, clutching her neck whilst the others went to his belt. Screamed, dear, so I do enjoy. What a cunt! Ray's voice diverted her thoughts. Tomorrow we'll travel past a village. I'll stop and have a falcon sent north to the warriors who will fetch you. He paused, eyeing her. And we shall reach Istri after dark. Scylla's temples throttled at the mere thought of Istri. Days now it had been the two of them plodding through the canyon. Here she'd settled in the numb existence. Not quite safe, yet not quite in danger. It was in between. But the word village and people had their survival instincts on edge, making her pulse beat erratically. A weight silence hung in the air, and Scylla knew Ray was choosing his words. You must eat tonight, Scylla. He pulled a few strips of dried elk from his bag, offering them to her. Scylla stared at his outstretched hand. The thought of food made her stomach roll, and the thought of Kalasgrad was like an anchor tied to her, pulling her down, down, down. She felt lost and so very tired. Not just her body, but her bones, her soul. But she tried the dried elk all the same, forced herself to bite into it. She wouldn't give for a scold. You don't need the leaves, girl. Don't even think about them shits. To fly away from everything for a moment or two. Would there be another apothecary in history? But Scylla had lost all her belongings, solace included. Ray thought he kept coin in a pouch on his battle belt, others in the false bottom of horse's saddlebag. She could pilfer a few. Why would you steal from this man? Oh my God, Scylla, you're fucking being annoying. Sneak off to the apothecary in history. She was filled with self-loathing at the vile thought. Okay. Just don't do it. You can think it, just don't do it. Ray had saved her life in Copa. She could not steal from him. All right, but the longings were fiercer than she'd felt in days, weeks. Fight. Without the leaves, how could she distract herself from the gloom of her thoughts? Think of something else. Before she had Jonas to help her escape, but like the leaves, he brought nothing but misery. All of the bandages for Scylla's grief were now gone and God's, but it hurt. Ray had bruised himself, sharpening one of the many daggers, but she felt the touch of his gaze on her skin. Scylla gazed his way, and with the fired flame's reflection in his eyes, with that sharp jaw and his sprawled legs, the man looked like a malevolent god honing his blade. You know, she wants to hone his blade, I tell you what. Utterly unbothered by anything, impenetrable to human emotion, brutally handsome. Now you're seeing this? Why didn't you see this the first time? Why weren't you looking at it like, no, instead you wanted to go after the blonde bimbo who got you... 20 winners, Wise. 20 winners. Her eyes trailed across the broad flame and landed on his hips. May I? She asked, nodding at the flask. Ray hesitated before pushing a full height and stepping around the fire. Crouching down to her level, he pressed the flask firmly into her palms. Go easy, he said, and grooved deeply between her brows. She wanted to reach out smooth and line away. Instead, she lifted the flask to her lips and took a large swallow. It burned to pass down her throat, making her wince. Still, Ray stared at her scar so intently that she squirmed. Why do you stare at it? She asked, blinking against the burn of the fire whiskey. My scar? Ray seemed to shake free from his reverie. Running a hand down his face, for a moment he looked at the little unsettled. It reminds me, he said, of a life long ago. What do you mean? Scylla puzzled over his words for a moment before helping herself to another gulp of Brentsa. Tell me, she said. Ray settled back across the fire, passing the dagger across the whetstone. I prefer not to think of it. Bad memories, she asked. Though the course he did not answer, tendrils of warmth unfurled in his belly, sending tiny vibrations through her. Scylla took yet another large mouthful of fire whiskey, closing her eyes as it took effect. It was like a full-body exhalation. Her tangled worries loosened, her burn and guilt soothed. She lifted the flask for another drink. Scylla! Ray's voice floated across the fire, carrying irritation and warning all at once. Scylla was, of course, ignoring him. He wanted her to be responsible and sensible when all she wanted to do was forget. Pushing her onto her feet, she ached her back into a stretch. She felt better already, almost happy, in a life long ago. I had chicken, she said. The Brenson flowed through him with the silent rhythm that made her want to move. And a swing. And I played a game. Do you want to play a game, Axe Eyes? He scowled at her. The lights from the fire caught the back of her black curls and the warm brown of his curving cheekbone. Ray's normally fastidiously trimmed beard. Fastidiously trimmed beard hadn't been touched in some time. I have never heard of that fucking word. Interesting. Okay. Scylla considered that the past few days must have held their challenges with him as well. A better woman offered to trim it for him, would try to lighten his burden. A better woman was not her. Taking another large gulp from the fire whiskey, Scylla coughed. It burned her throat, her lungs, her stomach, but she was learning to appreciate this kind of discomfort. It was one she could control. One she was choosing. Come on, Axe Eyes, have fun with me. Her hand reached out and she longed for him to grab it, to let down those stern barriers he'd kept in place. After a moment, it became clear he had no intentions of joining her. Fine, Scylla muttered. I'll play by myself. That's not what she means. That's not what she means. He's particular about his beard trim. Okay, I was going to look that word up later on. Thank you. I've never heard about that. That was a cool. I learned a new word today. I love it. All right. I'll play by myself. That's what she said. Spreading her arms wide, she looked up. Darkness had fallen, stars splattered in silver and sky. It does, P. I don't do that until I finish the chapter because I don't want to get spoiled. But it could, actually, it doesn't matter because it's just a stupid word, not a freaking name. Ha, you're right. It's just the word, not a name. It's not a name. It's the names I got to be worried about. Very attentive and conserved about accuracy and detail. He chooses his words with fastidious care. Interesting. Fastidious. Interesting. I learned a new word today. I'm 48 years old and I learned a new word. There you go. Haha. All right. I'll play by myself. Spreading her arms wide, she looked up. Darkness had fallen. Stars splattered in the sliver of sky above. Curious plants unfurled, moonlight singing tentacles from the coves of the canyon walls, their luminescence making it feel as though she were inside her own constellation. Warmth and euphoria glimmered through her body, and for the first time in days, everything felt so easy. Absolutely. You gotta learn. I'm 48 years old and still learning shit. If you don't fucking learn, you fucking... I gotta tell y'all a story. Before we leave, I have to tell you escape room story, okay? Of what the girls did to me and my mini. Don't let me forget. Escape room story. Got it? Got it. Okay. Staring at the stars, Scylla began to turn. Her body smiles spread wide, her body glowing light as a feather. Round and round and round we go. Laughter spilled from her lips, and for the barest moment, Scylla was free. She was a bird soaring through the skies. If you're a bird, I'm a bird. Say it. Fucking great ass movie. Ready to fly away from it all. Faster she spun until the stars and strange glowing planets burned together, and and the ground grew unsteady. Without warning, the flask was pulled from her grip, and an arm wrenched her to an abrupt stop. Her vision continued to spin. Put your foot down. Oh, it's already down. And a moment before, she could make out Ray's furious expression. What did you say? He demanded. The walls of the canyon with its living stars swayed, her mind growing slippery. This was what she needed. To drown in nothingness. For the currents of the drink pulled her into their flows. A game, she whispered, leaning into her arms, from a life long ago. Ray was strangely... Are they brother and sister? Are they like brother and sister or some shit? Like, what the fuck? Like, why do you seem to know so much about her? What the fuck? What is happening? Ray was strangely quiet, and Scylla forced herself to look at him. Again, they stared at her scar, his pulse throbbing furiously. What is it? She asked. Sometimes I think, he shook his head. You remind me of someone. A curious feeling filled Scylla, as though she was trying to recall something important, but it was gone in an instant. But Scylla found herself being eased into a bedroll. Keep reading. How did we get here? Herself easing into a bedroll tucked into an alcove into the canyon's wall. She lay back on the bed, trying to steady her wailing vision. Who? She asked. Ray crouched before her, but it was difficult to make out his shadow expression. A girl who liked to play spinning games, he said distantly. But she's dead. Too much spinning, groaned Scylla, putting a hand on her forehead. I told you to go easy. A large, warm hand skinned around her back, bringing her into a sitting position. Head swimming, Scylla blinked. A water skin was pressed to her lips, cold water sliding down her throat. But it only seemed to agitate the fire in her stomach. I can't feel any more, she whispered. I wish only to forget. Ray let out a long sigh, lowering his bedroll beside hers. She wanted to curl into his warmth, to surrender and trust his strength. Forget for a moment, said Ray wearily. I'll be here. Scylla wanted to weep in his words, how long it had been since she'd heard it and since she'd been able to truly let go. Her eyes slid shut, and she fell asleep into a deep slumber. Scylla awoke to a bright morning light and the throbbing skull of one dizzy moment. Ha! It's the morning after. Always good one. She couldn't pace her surroundings. She had like 5 gulps. Girl, you are the cheapest date ever, Scylla. Oh my God, you're like Liz back in the day. It was so great. So good. 3 drinks and she was onion rings. 4 drinks and she was ready to go home and get some. Digressing. Placed her surroundings. The curving black stone overheard the trickle of running water from somewhere nearby. The canyon she remembered. She was tucked into the canyon's alcove. Sitting up, she found Ray kneeling by the stream. Stripped down into thin under tunic, she rolled her sleeves up to reveal thick, muscled forearms and an expansive, tattooed coils. Transfixed, she watched him scrub his hands and forearms clean before scooping water to his head and neck. I'm gonna give y'all the picture. Just y'all can picture that for a minute. 3 drinks. I want to get some sleep. Oh, okay. Oh, it's funny. The reader losing her inhibitions, right? The reader's losing the inhibitions. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. All right, there we go. Are y'all good with the water scene now? Y'all good? Y'all good with Ray washing himself? Like, hey, listen. Cheap dates are the best dates. Drinks are too expensive nowadays. 25. I had a friend. He went to San Antonio to see Bad Omens. It was $25 for a beer. Just so you know, cheap dates are the way to go. A life long ago, the worlds echoed in her mind. Memories of the night before coming back in nauseating rush. The way he stared at her scar. The girl she reminded him of, long dead. Pain pulsed in her skull as she tried to wrestle meaning into these details. Hot, restless, panic exasperated her hangover. Everything hurt. Her mind swam, and all she could think of was how the one person who discovered her true name had taken less than a day to betray her. 'Cause he's a chode. Now she tried to reassure herself Ray didn't know who she was. It was only a queasy feeling brought on by the Brensa. But what if he did? Or what if he figured it out? Scylla's fingers found the patch of short spiky hair left by Commander Valve's blade. Cannot, she thought. The decision of growing more solid with each heartbeat cannot go back. In that moment, Scylla made herself a vow. She would never allow another to know her true name. She would hold it so tightly she'd strangle it from this world. And no matter what it took, she would never end up in the Clanary's cell again. Bum, bum, bum. All right. All right, where are we at? Ooh, 44K. Close. All right. We're going to stop you at 40. So you get 25, 30, 35, and 40. 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. 4 buttons. Oh, what do we got? MJ. What do we got? MJ. How is she going to do this, folks? Scylla needs to shave half her head. Oh, there you go. There you go. Do the whole shave the side here and do the braid down. Old, like a Lagatha. Oh! Lagatha is probably one of the most badass Viking women I think has ever been portrayed. I think she was amazing as hell. All right. So we got 2, 10, 6, and 4. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to go to 4. Here's 4. All right. Unfortunately, your last 2 buttons, those. Ladies and gentlemen, here's button 2. Enjoy.
I am Jonas, keeper of the red flags. Witness my Jonas.
I couldn't help it. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. I'm about to see. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. So, yeah, there you go. There's your new button, ladies and gentlemen. There's the new one y'all were asking for. That's right. Unfortunately, the new button is a chode button. Son of a gun. That was funny. That was funny. I like that one. Y'all like that? That's awesome. Cool. I'm glad. I was worried they're going to be like, what the fuck is he, why he's doing? What is he doing? I'm glad. That's epic. Yes. All right. The buttons have been shuffled. They have been shuffled. All right. They've been shuffled. Yeah. Do you want the other one was
My name is Chode Barlow.
Two, yeah. So which ones? Oh, it was. I already shuffled them again. So when your numbers 2 and 10, or sorry, 2 and 6, 2 and 6. Yeah, 2 and 6 were the chode ones. Sorry, 2 and 6 were the chode ones, but they have been reshuffled and are in new spots. We're gonna, even though y'all are at 46, we're still gonna start you out at 45K because that's where you were at 44 when we started. So you're gonna end up with a free button already, and we're at 1530. So that's it's 75K for a full tour with no chodes. Y'all got it. Y'all can get it. It's 30K. Y'all got it. That's 2K a person. Y'all can do it. It's a 17-minute chapter, so it'll probably take me like 45. Y'all got it. No, I'm just playing. All right. Ooh, I'm out of tea and water. All right. She said we can tour the chodes too. All right, here we go. Kingdom of Claw, Chapter 2. Ray's long exhale misted the air, his body swaying with horse as he trudged through the canyon. The bright morning sunlight slanted between the black walls, warming his face. Soon they'd reach the canyon's end, climb up to the forest, and be another step closer to history. Though his memory was fuzzy, Ray recalled a few villages along their route and decided to stop at the first one. He must send a falcon to Vig and Runi in Kalisgrad. Excuse me. And Scylla needed better attire than his oversized tunic and breeches. Gaze falling on Scylla's messy curls, Ray battled the urge to twist a tendril around his finger and pull it taut. His teeth clenched together. She was too damn quiet. Helbrook's hairy arse. Ray could not believe it irritated him, but there was something unnatural about her silence. She should be pointing at the rock formations and humming insistently. He'd never admit it out loud, but he'd grown to like the sound of her chatter. Please don't be related. Please don't be related. It uplifted him, kept him from the dark places that he so often retreated, but he couldn't help but think of the night before. Round and round and round we go, she said, when she started twirling when she spoken those words. It was as if though Ray had been sent back to another time. Back to those gardens a lifetime ago, not to mention the girl was long dead. Right? Like, please don't be related, because y'all, that just, a lifetime ago, not to mention the girl was long dead. But Scylla's curl had curled into him, had trusted him long enough to forget for a while. Why did this woman trust feeling like a thing to be cherished? Like a sapling he yearned to shelter so he might grow stronger. Ray gave himself a shake. Those were dangerous thoughts, one he needed to rid himself of. The canyon grew more and more shallow until the last they climbed into the forest. The familiar scent of pine needles and loam filled the senses as they followed a narrow goat track through the woods. Wet foliage brushed against them, the path thankfully soon widening. Why is the queen hunting her? The question shuddered into Ray's thoughts as it hundred of times in the past few days. In the aftermath of Copa, he asked Scylla why the queen haunted her, but he looked in her eyes, haunted and terrified. She never wanted to see it again. And so he urged her to tell him when she was ready. Ray knew well enough some secrets were essential to keeping a person safe. He wanted to respect her need for secrets, but the god's damn queen hunted her, and the Clenari were involved. War bands and assassins had been sent after her. There were no small secrets, and knowing some details could be a matter of life or death. Again and again he ran over each strange detail he collected about the curly-haired woman who climbed into his supply wagon in Reckford. Like Ray, she was Galdry. There was the spinning game and the scar, just where hers had been. She'd led a sheltered life as though she'd been hidden away from prying eyes. It takes a smaller man to be ruled by fear and a larger one to show mercy. Anyone can see that you are no small man. The words spoken to him on the road of bones fitted through Ray's skull. At the time, he brushed them off as curious coincidence. But now, he wondered if it could be more than that. What if their fathers had known one another? It would fit with the girl's identity. No, Ray ground his teeth. The girl was dead. There had been a body. Everyone in the kingdom knew the gruesome details, unless they faked it. Unless she hadn't died that day. Or what if they escaped the castle, hidden away all these years before being discovered near Skarstad? He thought of her father and the supposed farmhand killing 6 of the queen's warriors before succumbing to his wounds, considering a strange detail alone. It seemed unlikely answer, but then they were all added up. There was no other explanation that fit. It was her. Ray's temples squeezed. It couldn't be. It was impossible. But the facts were piling up too high. Listen, Ray, if it looks like a duck, it smells like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it might be a duck-billed platypus. It has feet like a duck, but it's furry. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But the facts were piling up too high with each pound of his heart, and the impossible ever grew more plausible. By some miracle, she hadn't died that day. She was alive, and it had been sitting right there in her wagon all these weeks. A feeling of wonder filled him, and Ray opened his mouth to say something, but he slammed it shut, and the woman's fence came into view, followed soon by a long house smoke twisting up from it. Ray drew horse to a stop near a patch of grass. "We'll stop here for a few minutes," he told Scylla, dismounting. He couldn't keep his eyes from roaming to her face, searching for similarities to the girl. But Ray's jaws clenched as his gaze found the bruise on her cheek instead. "I think it's best you stay out of sight. Draw your hood up and linger behind the fence. I'll be gone only a few minutes to send word north." Ray had thought this place a village, but soon discovered it was merely a cluster of steadings. Thankfully, the old mothers were happy to allow Ray to use their falcon for generous coin they offered. Excuse me. They also already partnered with their boots and grommets in Scylla's size. Oh, there we go. Ooh, I haven't done that in a while. Ray found his gratitude warming, and the old mother pressed their unwed granddaughters forward. Of course she did. "Hey, stranger that's here, you're sexy. You want my daughter? What the fuck, my guys?" Jesus, imploring him to stay the night. After sending the message to Kalskid, it had taken all his patience not to snap at the boldest of the granddaughters who'd taken his arm and tried to steer him to the yard for a stroll. "Married," he barked, watching the woman scowl at his ringless finger. "My wife is just there." Exiting the home. Whoa! What? I know you just gotta say it, but I'm just saying. Don't be related. Don't be related. Exiting the home, Ray had tucked his garments under his hand and broken into a run. He was desperate to talk to Scylla, to tell her what he knew, but his feet came to a sudden halt. Scylla was gone, and was his god's damn horse. Anger quickly replaced his excitement. She'd fled into the monster-filled woods while warriors, no she didn't, combined the countryside. "I know you're more clever than that, sunshine," he bellowed from the coupled hands from the corner of his eye. He saw the woman and the steading gathering in the doorway. "You don't know how to ride. Not to mention, you're on my god's damned horse." He put 2 fingers in his mouth and let out a whistle. Hoofbeats and Scylla's frustration cry soon met his ears. A moment later, Horse emerged from the woods. "Other way," begged Scylla, pulling the reins. "Horse, please." But Horse merely tossed her head, whining and greeting Ray. He snatched the reins and then stroked Horse's velvety nose as he glared at Scylla. No amount of treats will buy her loyalty. Scylla's gaze met his, frustrated and guilty. "Why are you running?" he asked in a low voice, casting a cautious look at the woman gathered in the long house doorway. He swung up on the saddle behind her and shoved the garments into his saddlebag, urging Horse forward. They rode in silence along the track until Ray judged they were far enough away to not be overheard. "What has happened?" he demanded, lifting an arm to shield her from a low-hanging burrow. "You no longer trust me." Ray went over everything he had said in the last days. She tried to run, or would have put herself in danger's way, as his strange dry laugh choked out of her. The flames in Ray's anger were fanned. "Do you think this is funny?" he demanded. "Do you think it is a game?" "Not in the slightest," she said with a sniffle. gods, but Ray hated her tears. His hands fisted tightly around the reins. You know I'd come after you as I did in Copa, he said with a quiet violence as Horse stepped over a fallen tree. Her shoulders sagged. I just wanted chickens. You cannot run into danger. This is bigger than your wants. Her entire body stiffened. What do you mean, bigger than my wants? Ray had planned to be gentle with the subject, perhaps coax answers out of her gradually, but her attempted flee had rattled him, so he tried to she tried to put herself in harm's way, and he felt himself coming unhinged. I know who you are, he heard himself saying. She went stone still. Fuck! I know why the queen is hunting you. She tensed as though bracing for the words to come. Your scar. I was with you when you got it. Ursa. Ah, my lord! Asa. Ray's words sliced into Scylla's skin. Her breath seized in her lungs, and she realized she'd been right to trust her instincts. Thank you, MJ. Ray knew who she was, and now she'd missed her opportunity to flee. Your scar. It was with you when I was with you when you got it, Asa. Her body trembled. He knew who she was, and Scylla knew what came next. Jonas hadn't taken a day to turn her in. How long would it take Ray to do the same? Forever. Forever. Because Ray's not a fucking red flag. Ah! Now panic climbed through her limbs. Run, her instincts told her once more. But the sliver of logic reminded her Ray would only chase her down. They were trying to flee, he growled. Please, begged Scylla, gazing longly into the forest. Let me slip into the wild. Let me vanish. I'll take a ship south somewhere, and when I have coin, I'll ensure you get your reward. I swear it to you. Ray stiffened behind her. You're Ursa goddamn Volsic, and you want to abandon Isildur? The air between them vibrated with his fury, leaving Scylla disorientated. Shouldn't he be happy? He just stumbled onto the kingdom's biggest bounty. Why was he so angry? You're a Volsic? Continued Ray. Don't you understand what that means? Manacles, she thought. Another cell. Her choices taken from her. Please, begged Scylla. You said you would not turn me in. You are nothing if you are not a man of honor. This is bigger than my honor, he grumbled. And if you are incapable of making smart choices, I will have you bound to the saddle and carried to Kalisgrad by force. Kalisgrad, surprised, frowned through her. You don't want a reward? Ray did not reply. Kalisgrad, Scylla repeated. She shook with relief. Not a cell. She wasn't going back to a cell. Scylla drew in her long breath. Let it flow slowly out of her. The trembling eased a touch, but the rest of her words finally sank into her. You'll force me to go to Kalisgrad. He was tense as a bowstring behind her. I've done many unsavory things in this kingdom, and I shall do many more. I can't be Asa, she whimpered. It wasn't a cell in Copa, wasn't Commander Valve, but he wasn't listening to her, wouldn't let her explain. I cannot be her. Do you not understand? Don't you understand? He flung back. People died to protect your family. Ivar came for all of Volsic's supporters and killed them in the most vile ways. The burn of guilt was spreading through her. Please, Scylla begged. I must leave this isle. It is the only way to stop the bloodshed that follows me. Or, Ray said, you could stand for your people. Do you not know what your existence would mean to so many? How much hope you could bring? How? Cried Scylla. Do you understand? I can barely be Scylla. How could I possibly be her? I understand nothing but your cowardness. It was just as she feared. The name would bind her, turn her into a thing to be used. Already her choices were being stripped from her, her senses of self vanishing into thin air. You're just like Chodas. taking away my no. You know, you gotta pump the brakes here. You gotta pump the brakes. 20 winners, Wise. 20 winners. She gonna figure it out. She gonna figure it out. Okay. She gonna figure it out. She felt him flinch, but continue. But you said Kaliskrat, not Sunovic, which means you don't want the reward. So why, Ray? What are you playing at? Why are you doing this? She could sense him choosing his words, forcing them past his teeth. Because all the good people have died, and yet still I breathe. I must honor them and their death. Damn. Makes them mean something. Did I ever tell y'all Ray is a walking green flag? I'm just saying. I like dead ass. He's a green flag that'll do bad things. I don't know. That was what Jonas said. Her voice trembled. He handed me to the clinary so Elias's death would mean something. Ray stilled, hardly daring to breathe. It's not the same. Truly, anger rose in her and she was relieved to feel anything beyond fear. Or is that simply an excuse made by violent men to allow them to sleep at night? Do not pretend you know anything about me. How can anyone know a thing about you, Renaer Galtung? Scylla spat. You who demand all my truths yet provide none of your own. You're more guarded than Askaborg. The air was thick with tension. You won't be troubled by my presence much longer, said Ray. His voice was cold, a void of emotion. We will arrive in Istri tonight. You will stay in hiding. The warriors I sent for are honorable. They'll put you in touch with people, good, trustworthy ones who will know how to best handle you. Or how to handle you. That doesn't sound good. Handle her. Scylla gritted her teeth. Anger festered in her stomach, burning through her limbs. She opened her mouth to protest, but slammed it shut as Ray said, There are wild things in these woods. Best we keep silent. Scylla blinked back her tears, tried to gather her resolve, but all she could think of was Kaliskrat. There was nothing but another cold cell. Ah! Wow. Ah, where are we? Ooh, 66 shot kick. So close. So close. 66K. So we'll start you at the 66. So 45, you get 1, 50, 55, 66. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of them. You got 5 on it. Ooh, what you got, MJ? What you got? That's why there's a thread. She's going easy with 1. I like it.
Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Balbaran Fae.
Unfortunately.
I am Jonas, keeper of the red flags. Witness my Jonas.
I was button 5. Here was 3.
My name is Chode Barlow.
That's all right. Let me shuffle them up really quick. We'll get them shuffled up and ready to go. Here we go. Yo ho ho. All right. We are shuffled. All right. Where are we at now? We're gonna what are we? I said 66. Yeah, okay. 60. Bam. Hey. What do we got? Forward. We're gonna what are we at? 68. My pen's dying. No, it's not. I just can't write. 68. All right, if y'all can get to 88. If y'all can make it to 88K, we'll do a full tour. Oh, that's okay. It's extra hard. There's two whammies now. It's a little your first night on the two whammies. But it makes me happy. Mwah. All right. Are we ready? Chapter 3. Kingdom of Claw. Ooh, we can learn about Saga. I see her name. Haha. All right. Askaborg, Sunvik. Saga. Volsic wore black to the bear god's service, the first she attended in over a month. It was practically really, though perhaps she should not worry. By now, the washing thralls had grown quite adept at removing blood. What the hell? What the hell? It was practically, really, though perhaps she should not worry. By now, the washing thralls had grown quite adept at removing bloodstains from the clothing of the royals. Her lady maids had woven in on one of her hairs in the intricate Urkin braids, and Saga had completed the look of her favorite winterwing brooch. If she was to bleed for the new bear god, then she will damned well be wearing what she pleased. And now she sat beside Princess Irsa in Usur's house. Wow! I'm gonna fuck these names. Y'all putting names like that back to back. That's a tongue twister. And the king's favorite nobles trailed in from the weekly letting. The room was well lit, despite the lack of windows. Blazers lining the central dais both brightened and heated the room, while gold-foiled pillars reflected and amplified the light. Outwardly, Saga projected on an air of boredom, but inside she was a mess. For a month she managed to avoid this, the crowd. The spectacle and the helplessness of her situation, Saga felt like a leashed animal, trotted out for the viewing pleasure. Look how well she sits, look how well she bleeds. She's a good little pet. Her fingers twitched in search of her charcoal and drawing board despite the quilling and growing nerves. Days had now passed since Saga had overheard Maester Alfson and Signy's conversation, discovering that Asa, the little sister she thought dead, was last 17 years, was alive. Not only had her mother known and not told Saga, but the queen had been hunting Asa for months. It had been a staggering revelation, and one of which was still difficult to believe. But as the days passed, with Saga waiting for a chance to do something, to do anything, to help, Asa, her nerves had only worsened. She could barely sleep, went through her days of a fog in her mind, hours she spent in the hidden corridor behind Alfson's study, waiting to overhear another conversation. But she had nothing to show for her efforts. Overwhelmed, consumed in some days, her mind like a cup overfilled, spilling over the sides until all she could do was fetch her charcoals and parchment and draw. It was the only thing capable of restoring balance to her mind, a thing taking her out of her head entirely. But drawing was not an option now. Her eyes swept the room for at least the 10th time, marking each doorway in Usur's house, the main exit, the high Goth doors, the trap door under the rug in the back of the dais unless they boarded it up. She repeated these exits to herself over and over, reminding herself that she was safe. Not trapped, yet she couldn't shake the primal need to flee to safety for her chambers. Pulse pounding, Saga glanced to her right, where Princess Irse sat. Her emerald green crown contrasted the Noverland white gold hair and pale skin. Irse's spine was straight, lips curved in a demure smile, and her brown eyes shone as though there were nowhere else she'd rather be. Saga opened her mouth to say something to her foster sister, to quell the strange tension hanging between them these days, but the words were nowhere to be found. Instead, her gaze returned to the blood-stained altar stone in front of the room. It was said that the bear god gained strength from blood. This was what moved Urkin warriors to such violence in battle. The more blood they loosed, the more glory they were granted. But other less glorious methods, sacrifice oneself or one's belongings, could also gain Usur's blessing. Farmers often slaughtered their best of their animals during Usur's spring awakening to ensure a fertile growing season. Why, some Urkin warrior chiefs sacrificed the strongest of their human thralls before battle, because that's a smart idea. But for the average citizen, it was way easier to gain Usur's favor was to take part in a letting. Gods, but she couldn't do this. She needed to get back to safety, back to her chambers. Pushing up from her chair, Saga prepared to flee the room. But as Queen Signy entered, accompanied by 6 bondswomen, any chance of leaving was extinguished. Numbly, Saga sank in her chair, resigned herself to fate. But to this face, she would have to roll up her sleeve. Usur shall be glad to see you, Lady Saga, came a woman's grating voice. Saga quickly identified the source of the lady. What is your name? A lady... Lady G. What's up, Lady G? As the High Lady Goth's penurious new wife, she was one of Signy's most trusted confidants, and the pity in her eyes made Sagas crave violence. Instead, she curtly, "'Tis a beautiful thing to recognize your own faults and move to correct them," said Lady G, toying with a set of keys strung from her neck. The bondswomen surrounding her clucked their agreement. "Darling Saga," came the queen's clear voice. The woman parted with as she stepped through a crown of iron claws atop her white blonde hair. Saga stood, dropping her brow in deference to the queen. Signy took Saga's gloved hand, stroked it gently. "I sought the High Goth's wise counsel on your behalf." Saga's heart pounded. He believes an extra letting should help in healing your nerves. Signy's bondwoman nodded and murmured in a collective agreement. Lady G, the loudest amongst the bunch. Of course, the answer was blood. Low spirits, give blood. Brandished your toe, give blood. Fighting the plague? Most definitely, give blood. Hey, do you take payments for the electrical bill? Saga nodded numbly. The queen moved to her daughter, collecting Yarsa's face in her hand. Green suits you, my sweet girl. Signy placed a loving kiss on each of Irsi's cheeks. Thank you, mother. Signy settled in her chair beside her daughter, bondswoman in the row behind. Saga swelled her back to burn off the jealousy. She should be grateful that the queen had taken an interest in her health. Her foster mother was befuddling, harsh and unyielding, and yet ever so often she sprinkled in small acts of caring. And Saga, like a starved dog, ate each small scrap up. A hush fell over the room as Thori and the giant entered, heralding the king's arrival with his bushy red beard and imposing height. It was impossible to miss the warrior in any room. But in a flickering light in Ursur's house, he felt somewhere more enormous than usual. Following Thori came King Ivar Ironheart. Though several inches shorter than Thori, Ivar's commanding presence was felt across the room. The king had shoulder-length blonde hair. He's a blonde, he's a douche, he's a blondie, douchey douche. Hey, hair streaked with gray. His beard styled in dual Urkin braids, and though Ivar's eyes were cold and hard, they gleamed with satisfaction as they landed on Saga. She shifted, looked away. There had always been a discomforting feeling in the king's gaze. Rather than lustful, she felt covetous. The fuck is... Bitch, I know what the word felt means. Covetous, having a great desire to possess something. As though he looked upon a jewel he'd gained for his treasure hoard. Prince Björn! Saga's betrothed came next. At age 13, 9 years her... What? What did you say? What? At 13, 9 years her junior, Born had already gained her father's height, but was lanky and awkward as he lopped after Ivar. Clad in a red tunic matching his father's, and with his blonde hair worn similarly, he was certain to be the king's spitting image when he came of age. Saga did not begrudge Bjorn for her situation. He had no more choice in their betrothal than she did. But she had watched warily as Ivar drew Bjorn further into his affairs and had noticed the hardening of his face and the cooling of his eyes. Saga spent a great deal of energy trying not to think of what kind of man her future husband would become. But she'd survived this long by molding herself to their expectations. So Saga forced a smile to her husband-to-be. The rest of the kings retined, filled in after the prince. Burly men with dour expressions finding their seats in the warrior section. The last warrior of the bunch ambled into the room with the familiar gait as a light revealed her faces. Saga's stomach lurched violently. Thin, cruel eyes were set in windblow, ruddy complexion with a long graying beard. She forced her gaze back to the altar stone, trying to cool the violent thrashing of her heart. Magnus Hansen had returned from Reckford. Saga dared not look, but she tracked the Heart-Eater from the corner of her vision as he sat to King Ivar's right. The pair bowing their heads in quiet conference, she repeated the existence in her mind. The main exit, the High Goth's doorway, the trapdoor under the rug. Thankfully, the High Goth entered before she lost her wits entirely and fled. He was clad in flowing brown robes, and light cotton gold embossed bear. The king's too snug around her neck. Several acolytes flanked him, and gilded cages carried by one, and lashed goat upon tugged another. Conversation quieted as they climbed to the steps of the dais, and the goat screamed loudly and digging its hooves in. Thori stood, hefting the goat with ease and settling it on the stone slab atop the dais, before returning to his seat. The acolytes rushed to take Thor's place, pinning the goat down as the High Goth faced the crowd, pulling a ceremonial dagger from the folds of his cloak. "We honor you, Ursi, god of gods, with the blood of our finest beasts." It was quick, bloody business. The Goth murmured soft words while cutting the goat's neck and collecting the blood in a golden bowl, pouring the contents over the altar stone, then repeated the process with the drove pulled from the cage. The High Goth launched into a sermon, but the words were lost into Saga. Instead, she stared at the altar stone and the rune carved into it, its blood-stained surface. It told the story of Usur and how she'd claimed defeat of the Mooned Hound to claim the great forest, and the wolf beast's wife as his own. She couldn't help but think of all the other raided and defeated by the Urkins and the daughters taken. It was all an endless cycle of violence, driven by the need of the bear god's blessing. The need for blood. The need to take. At last the High Goth's voice trailed off. The warrior section began to stand as the letting began. The speaking of the god raised his hand, quelling the hushed conversations around the room. Apprehension knotted in Saga's stomach. "Before we begin, I am told one of Usur's daughters has come to us in poor health. Lady Saga, please join me on the dais so I might look upon your face." What the fuck is going on? Saga's body prickled as eyes in the room turned toward her. Their gazes were like acid spitting all over her, burning her skin, dissolving her bones. Saga swallowed and pushed to her feet, took a step forward. She couldn't feel her feet. "I can't feel my legs." Couldn't think, but she was doing it. Stepping up to the dais stairs, sitting in the chair, looking at the faces of those either pitied her or wished her dead. The High Goth was before her, dark eyes surveying her face. The stubby fingers prodded at her cheeks, turning her face this way and that way, squeezing her jaw and pulling her mouth out to peer at her tongue. "It is as I thought," he proclaimed to the crowd. "Impurities have gathered in her body, feeding on her health." The rasp of whispers gathered in the room. "I prescribe a heavy letting to clean the blood and grant Ursi's blessing." Saga wanted to rip herself out of the chair and run from the room, but their eyes were upon her, and her High Goth was rolling up the sleeve and scowling. "Ah," he said, loud enough to enter the room. "Her vein has healed." He yanked Saga's arm up, exposing her inner elbow in the crowd with unnecessary enthusiasm. A gasp of grass filled the room as they peered at the freshly healed scars. Prove her half-hearted faith. Look at what is wrought from fragility, ill health. What you gave to Usur, he will pay. He will repay tenfold. The blood rushed to Saga's ears. I see now. This is far worse than I'd thought, said the high goth. I fear I must change my prescription. Oh, no. A grand offering is in order. Saga tried with all her might not to think of what that meant. It did not matter how she felt about the matter. She must be good, palatable. Saga, who did what she was told, but inside she kicked and screamed. Much like the animals, her blood would be taken, not given. As an acolyte approached, Saga retreated in the folds of her mind. She was not here. No, Saga was running through the gardens, the younger sister squealing behind her, birds chittering from the hedges, the scent of fresh foliage thick in the air. Asa was behind her, turning round and round and round and falling over. There, said the goth. As pain sliced in the crook of her arm, she closed her eyes, and then she was lying on her stomach in the library, surrounded by the tall shelves stretching towards the rafters. A fire crackled low in the fireplace, a cat lounging in Queen Silva's lap. Another cup, murmured the goth. Her eyelids fluttered, and the glint of the gold catched her eyes, the gilded bowl, filling with the slow drizzle of her life force. Another cup! Wrath and judgment scraped across her skin. They watched her, waiting for her to shatter. Didn't they know she was already broken? They'd taken her family, her castle, her kingdom, and now they'd taken her blood. What was there left to take? Surely they'd find it and take that too. Asa, the ember buried deep within flared. Asa needed her. But as the fifth, fucking Christ, cup of blood drained from Saga, her fight bled with it. She is pale, murmured the acolyte. Another cup, barked the high. God damn! It is what she has earned, flowed someone's thoughts. She must pay in blood like her family, added another. She deserves every bit of punishment she's earned. The words throbbed in her skull, altering Saga that her mental barriers had fallen, and the thoughts of the crowd flowing freely from her. She could handle one, perhaps two people at a time with her senses, but any more than that grew overwhelming. What are we doing right now? More thoughts assaulted her. Saga knew she had to pull her barrier back into place, needed to keep her senses at bay. Grabbing at the frayed edges, she'd woven together a shoddy barricade. It would have to do. She could manage nothing else. The room swelled and rippled as the heads lollied to the side. That will do. Her elbow was bandaged, while the goth spoke to the crowd. But Saga was spinning, twirling, whirling, crashing. They watched her, all of them, as she stood, stumbled. Red flash in her vision. The beard of Thora the giant as he scooped her up and carried her down the dais. The crowd was murmuring, braziers crackling. Her heart thump, thump, thumping too hard, too fast. And then Saga was placed back in her chair. You did well, whispered Yrsa. Saga blinked, biting back on the urge to laugh. Did well, bled well, submitted like a good little captive. But as her vision swirled, she saw herself and Yrsa as girls, playing in the gardens and riding ponies through the royal forest for a time. They almost been like sisters, but now there was only distance. My little bear has grown so tall. A chill ran down Saga's spine. Signy, she called Bjorn her little bear. Her mental barricades were still not intact, and it seemed Signy's thoughts were drifting through a gap. And soon he shall be wed. Do I hope we can restore Signy's health in time? I cannot help but wonder if Ivar chose the wrong sister. Blonde hair is certainly not a measure of one's strength. Saga's hand clasped tightly, her senses widening, reaching towards Signy. And Asa has certainly proven herself resilient. but we shall see how she fares against the wolf feeders. It shall be my first task today to see to the letter. Saga inhaled sharply, her barrier shredding through abruptly, inundating her senses with all the thoughts in the room at once. It was loud. A cacophony of noise that made it nearly impossible to snatch the fraying edges and weave the barricade back into place. Somehow she managed. Her gaze fell upon her hands and Signy's pinning through her mind. The wolf feeders, a letter today. The letters began, warriors and worshippers queuing through the room. Saga stayed in her seat, mind gradually clearing. The ember in her chest flared hotter. Hope spread through here. After days of waiting, the opportunity had arrived. She needed to stop Signy. She needed to intercept that letter. And as the bloodletting continued, a dazed smile spread across her face. What the fuck was that shit? That's some bullshit. Oh, you did. You did it. You made it. Let's go. Cacophony. Cacophony. It's caca bullshit. That's what it is. Have some buttons.
Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Valbaran Fae.
Go. She says, wait, we're pushing buttons off screen. Yeah, I was on the other side of the table. I had to fill up my beverage, my throat. I tell you what, it's very, very warm out here. And I mowed the yard, so I got a lot of pollen. I don't know if y'all hear it in my throat. But anyway, y'all destroyed that one. Nice job. Nice job, my voices. Nice job. All right. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Dang. Y'all got to 80. You got two more. Or sorry, one more. Because you got to 90. I got to give you credit for 90. You're starting at 92. So you get one more before we start the chapter. What you gonna pick? MG. Oh, thank you for the lightning bolts, MG. I appreciate you so very much. She says 3. 1. right, folks, listen. There's one chapter left. You're at 93K. Okay? Y'all need 15K to tie the record. And there's not many people here tonight. There's 15 people here. Y'all can do the math. I'm just saying. Y'all can get a new button made in time for Wednesday. Just gotta get to clickety, clickety, click, click, clickety, click, click. All right, chapter 4. Let's do it. All right. Y'all got it. I know y'all can do it. Let's get into it. Chapter 4, Kingdom of Claw. Demi Winters. Chapter 4. Immediately after leaving Ursur's house, Saga made her way toward the falconry tower. Askeborg consisted of a central keep and 4 branching wings, a maze of tunnels sprawling beneath. When King Ivar seized control, all lawyer Volsic supporters were executed, including the help. Damn! Little did he know, knowledge or Askeborg tunnels had perished with him, and while the Urkins had found some of the tunnels, the vast majority were known to Saga alone. But as she galloped along, hey, Silly, what's up, girl? If y'all didn't know, Silly 88, that is my mini-me. Haha, that's my girl. That's my girl. But as she grouped along the cold stone walls leading through the western wig, Saga couldn't recall a single tunnel. Star danced in her vision, and her head throbbing viciously in a wake of the letting. It was slow going through the corridor, but she made steady progress. Thankfully, there was a little risk of encountering anyone. Deep in Askeborg's western wing, this corridor was solely used to deliver correspondence to and from the falconry tower. Despite her dreamlike state, Saga traced her path to the tower in her mind, through the corridor to the dead end, and then she could pass through the old defensive walls without setting foot outdoors. Torchlight danced along the walls, Saga's heart pounding with twice its normal vigor as she tried to fuel her body with what little blood it had left. The walls seemed to bend, and the floor unsteadied beneath her feet. Yet despite the dizziness, she would not be stopped. This was her chance. She paused, bracing herself against the cold stone wall. Gasping for a plan, would Signy send a thrall or one of her bondswomen to the tower? And if Saga could intercept this person, could somehow obtain the letter before they posted it, then what? Then she read it. Burn it? No. She'd surely be reported to Signy and quickly punished. Saga bit her lip, trying to think. But her heart was hammering. She needed to lie down for a moment, or perhaps a day. One moment in front of the other. She would figure it out, and when she got there, minutes bled together until at last she rounded a corner by her feet and stilled. Ancient stone pillars bracketed in a long, straight corridor, but the firmly solid wall of the dead ended and was now a mass of crumpled stone. Her heart pounded. The defensive walls had been her plan, but now they were entirely inaccessible. Her gaze fell off the doors set perpendicular to the halls and located several places before the crumbling stonework and the double doors led to Askeborg's inner courtyard. Wait, did y'all recruit my kids to come in here and start hitting hearts? Have y'all recruited my children? Y'all are, wow. I see what's happening. Y'all are slick. Y'all are slick. Y'all are slick. And that Saga realized with growing panic where she needed to go. A noise sounded from beyond the door, and Saga rushed towards the rubble, concealing herself behind the arched pillar. The door groaned open with someone stepping through. A woman's soft hum filled the air, and Saga hazarded a glance around the pillar, taking in the woman's muted gray dress and long auburn braids. Slowly, Saga lowered her barriers, letting her senses stretch out, and the new quill was quite splendid. I shall send a note of appreciation. As the woman walked, the faint jangle of the iron met Saga's ears, and she knew the woman's identity at once. It was Lady Jerry, Lady Gerera, fucking Lady G, and those keys that she kept tethered around her neck. Saga, thank you for the gift. Saga's, what is it? It's a family operation. It truly is. I love it. I love it. Jira, she about to be, fuck her. Fuck her. Lady, fuck G. I don't like her. I don't know if I like her or not. I'm sketchy about saying who I like and not like in this series. I've been wrong so many times. Anyway, Saga's heart crashed against her chest. How long had she taken to get here? Long enough, it seemed, for Signy's letter to be pinned and delivered to the Falconry Tower. Which means Saga had scant time to intercept it. She counted G's fading footfalls as she retreated to the corridor. The moment it had felt safe, she dashed to the door, stared at the iron latch. The defensive walls were no longer an option. In order to reach the letter, Saga would have to cross the castle's inner courtyard. She'd need to step outdoors. Nausea rolled in her stomach and her heart trying to beat free from her chest. Saga braced against the wall, repeating Ace's name in her mind. As her gloved hand found the iron latch, lifted it, pushed the door open. Like, she's like, have you never been outside before? Like, how, what? She looked across the grassy courtyard to the tower. Her heart was in her throat now, hammering faster as she thought possible. 20 steps. She could do it. She had to do it. Don't let the big bad sun get you. What if she became cornered? What if she was seen? Just go! Go, she urged herself. Surely it wouldn't take long to select the right falcon. Just go! To affix the scroll to its leg, but the raven screamed from above. There had been ravens from the day. She smiled in the iron forge, the smoke of the fire, and heard the sizzling of flesh and blood. Skirl. Green, curdling screams. The hand around her ribs squeezed tighter and tighter. She should have been strung to a pillar with them. Her heart bucked wildly. Intense towers before Saga warping. Hand bracing the oak door, she flinched as a breeze rushed at her. She would do this, but as she stared through the doorway, she saw it, a long bird taking flight from the top, the scroll attached to its foot. A cry, ripple free from deep in her chest. Saga stumbled away from the door. She could have made it, would have made it, had she not succumbed to her nerves. And now she was too late. Asa, she whispered, eyes burning, a panic crashing over. No tears. She would not cry. Motion in her periphery caught Saga's attention. A woman peering down at the tower's windows. Staggering backwards, Saga tried to dive to the raven's cries. From her skull. Punished, they'd screamed. Punish! Saga's vision went white and she collapsed to the floor. She tried to breathe, but it felt as though her chest was caving in on her. How she could have thought she could simply cross the courtyard when she hadn't stepped outdoors in 5 long years. You deserve to be punished. Gasping desperately, Saga saw death on the horizon. Would she drown on dry land? Or would her heart give out first? The wild pounding was not sustainable. Tap. She blinked at the gentle pat on her shoulder. Tap, tap. She focused. Tap, tap, tap. Breathe, came a deep voice. The commanding tone reassured. The tap continued, firm and even, and she tried to ground herself within the sensation. Closing her eyes, Saga followed with the instructions and tried desperately to breathe. Her chest seemed to move up and down, but panic held firm grip from the room spun round her. Easy. Do not fight it. Go with it. Fingers tapped her shoulder with the slow, calming rhythm. Closing her eyes, Saga focused on the touch until all else faded away. There was only gentle pressure and the expansion of her ribcage. The courtyard, the ravens, her failure, all ceased to exist. Air gradually returned to her body, the terror in her chest loosening. As the wild pounding of her heart dulled, the hand lifted from her shoulder. Everything in her body seemed to have a pulse, and her chest seized with spasms and pain. Her eyes fluttered open, and the walls started spinning. Where was she? How did she gotten here? And who was the stranger staring down at her? Saga's eyes slammed shut. You fell, said the man in the heavily accented Isildurian. There is blood, he paused. You are all right, miss? You're not here, Saga replied, squeezing tighter. Perhaps I am not understanding your language, said the stranger with a nervous laugh. Of course the man was nervous. He thought her madder than a bag of marmots. Tell me what hurts you. Tell me where you are hurt. Where is the blood coming from? Saga prodded her mental barrier, shocked to find them already lowered. Her senses was exposed, and yet she could hear no trace of the stranger's thoughts. Reluctantly, Saga pried one eye open, looked at the stranger. Her vision danced with lights, and she could not make out the man's face, but she could immediately tell he had a warrior's build. His heart resumed its thunderous beat, her mind screaming at her to flee. Danger. Escape. She glanced around and searched for an exit, eyes falling on the door of the courtyard. Door? She blurted out. Please, can you close it? I'm cold. The man moved away, and Saga pushed her feet, bracing an arm against the wall. She patted her hair. Good gods, it was utter mayhem. Pulled from her braids and sewn it above, she used it like a shield, pulling it all around her face, peering at the man through the tresses. He turned back to her, and she got the first glimpse of him. His skin was lightly tanned, his hair dark and wavy, but her eyes fell at once to his jaw, bare and angular. With a shallow cleft in the middle of his chin, to see a grown man's naked chin felt oddly obscene. It was not smooth like Björn's boyishly unbearded chin. No, this was rough, textured with coarse grain of regrowth. It was decidedly a man's chin. Saga frowned, and Isildur's beard were revered, a sign of male potency. You're not Isildurian, she murmured. Ochovidino. Okay, Ochivino, the man said with clear impotence. Tell me where you are hurt. Saga, your loaf-eater, stop oogling his chin. She blinked, gaze darting to his eyes. Worse, they were green with emeralds, framed with dark lashes, and the thick brows pulled into a look and concern. She forced a gaze to the roof above him. Roof, beams, cobwebs, all good, normal things. Are you hurt? Demanded the stranger, his voice growling more impatience. No, replied Saga, trying to shove some sense back into her skull. The man before her was decidedly large. Her eyes darted from the enormous brace against the wall, the back to bare the chin. Not Isildurian, which meant, are you from Zagragonian party? All right, what did she do? Just like push a bunch of ZDRAVSTVUYT. What the fuck? What did you? Zerdra Festuity. Wherever the fuck you're from, he said, his penetrating gaze prickling her skin. Oh gods, Saga murmured, rubbing a hand over her face. Make a good impression, Signy had said. We must foster a good relationship. With the Zagadians, she dropped her hands, try for a smile. Why are you smelling of blood? Asked the man, his huge hand sliding over her shoulder, shaking her gently. Saga blinked at the man, smiling. You are bleeding. Where are you hurt? Saga looked down. Blood had trickled down from her arm, dripping onto the stone floor, rolling up her sleeve, and she found the bandage dangling loose. I gave blood, she said, trying to retie the one-handed for the bear god. The man's expression grew stony. Let me, he said. Producing a fresh pocket linen, the man slid around the back of her arm, cradling it gingerly, while the other pulled a strip of linen in place and tied it deftly. And that, he asked, gesturing to the door. Blood loss, Saga mumbled, hiding her flush behind her hair. Gods, but this was humiliating. I thank you for your help. It was not so much. He put a hand on her forehead, mimicking fainting. Was seeing more. The man searched for the word, coming up short, different. Bezumya. That's another fucking Bezumya. His brows drew together, making his green eyes somehow more piercing. Saga rubbed her gloved hand together, unwilling to share any more than she must. Come, miss. He looked at her inquirily. Saga opened her mouth in reply, but then realization struck her. He didn't know who she was. Telling this man her name would place Saga at the Falconry Tower, and if there were more known to the queen, it could make her suspicious of Saga. Excuse me. Arlug, Saga answered, thinking of the lady's maid. I thank you, my lord, for your help. The man smiled, and Saga's head spun at the glorious sight, soft curving lips, shallow lines flanking them. Gods, the blood loss was truly getting to herd. I am Ruki, he said quickly, holding out a giant hand. Cassandra Ruki. The name flowed from him, somehow soft and sharp at all. Hesitantly, Saga slid her gloved hand into his, blinking as she felt the friction straight down to her toes. Led to me, he seemed to struggle with the words. Helps me to your room. I thank you for your assistance, Lord Ruki, but I'm afraid I must. The man uttered something in Zagarian, slipping a steady arm around her waist. No, longer, he replied. No words as movable as stone. I will not allow it. You are alone and need someone to catch you. Saga's inside squirmed in discomfort. She needed to find the exits, but her only options besides the outdoor was to return the way she came. Weak from blood loss and from the crisis she suffered, Saga could scarcely stand, let alone reach her chambers in the northern wing. She tilted her head so that her hair tumbled over her shoulder, a barrier of sorts between the two. Kitchens, she blurted out, thinking of passages in the back of the pantry. Is that I work in the kitchens and would appreciate your assistance in returning there. I think you must rest, Arlong, he protested, leading her down the corridor. You are in no condition for working. I thank you for your concern, Lord Ruick, she murmured, leaning against the sturdy form more than he ought to. A cook will prepare a replenishing broth, and I'll be back to rights. Very well, grumbled the man, clearly unconvinced. He began leading her down the hall. While we are walking, tell me about this place. What do you wish to know? Asked Saga curiously. They paused in alcove in polished granite, Bustard glaring at them from the top of the pedestal. Saga knew in the alcove corner lay a hidden passage which ran beneath the castle, and she fought the urge to flee into the tunnel's dark solitude. Who is the unsmiling man? Asked Ruick. That is King Harold the Hard, King Ivar's father. He is the ruler of Norvaland, answered Ruick. He is often visiting. Saga cleared it. Sean! What's up, Sean? What's up, brother? Hope your move's going good, man. Hope you're almost done with that stuffs. I know that shit sucks. Hope you're getting done, brother. Saga cleared his throat, supposed the kitchen thrall would no such thing. He last visited when Prince Havar was born. She paused. 2 years passed. Are they treating you well here? He asked, studying her. Saga fell faint under her pursual. Yes, my lord. But this, he gestured to her arm. They are often taking blood from you? From all the workers? Yes, there was no point in lying, she supposed. And their ward, said Ruick. Do you often see her? Lady Saga? Asked Saga, clutching her arm tighter as the hallway spun before her. Yes, she is present. Saga watched him through the air, wondering why the man sought information about her. I'm told she'll be wed to Prince Björn. Ruick murmured something under his breath. How old is that boy? 13, replied Saga. And Princessia Isa? She'll soon be 18, my lord. They walked through the winding corridor, Ruick peppering her with questions about the various tapestries they passed. Much to Saga's chagrin, the man was quite talkative, and it appeared rather curious. By the time they arrived at the kitchen, Saga was exhausted from keeping up her guise as Arlong. Thank you for your assistance, Lord Ruick, said Saga, hastening to the kitchens before he could reply. She leaned against the wall in the pantry for several minutes before she was ready to venture into the passageway. It was not long after that she was collapsing on her bed, utterly exhausted. With an oat cat stolen from the kitchen in her belly, she felt her energy crawling back. An afternoon of rest, and she should be back to rights. But as sleep closed in on her, the only thing that walled against the surge forth at last. By now the falcon was well on its way north. The wolf feeders would come for Asa, and Saga had missed her chance to warn her, had missed her chance to do something. 20 steps, perhaps less. Saga wanted to scream, wanted to punch a wall, wanted to pull her hair out. Long had she honored her need to feel safe by staying within Askeborg's walls. 5 years it had been since she set foot outdoors. Her affection was merely part of herself, a thing she worked around. But today, here, now, she saw it for what it was. Hers was a cage with no bars. Because of it, the wolf eaters were coming for Asa, and there was nothing Saga could do. Bam! Wow. Holy, wow. What is 131? Wow. Y'all destroyed that record. New record. Wow. All right. Well, you've definitely earned the button tour, so you will get the full tour. And I guess the question is y'all need to decide, what would you like your new button to be? And a Dory and a Manon button. Bet. I mean, a Dory and a Manon, I mean, that could be, I'm just saying, that could be pretty badass. A Riddick one. So are you gonna wait for brunch to decide, and then a brunch, then we gotta pull them out? Yeah, I'll write the idea. I'll write new ideas down. Ooh, I tell you what, y'all can. Hopefully everybody's in the Discord. I hope everybody. Who here that follows not in the Discord? Y'all really need to be in Discord. Anyway, I'll let y'all work it out. Okay, here we go. Bum bum bum.
Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Valbaran Fae.
Okay, I'm gonna read this. Can't make brunch. MJ, can you do you not? If not, it's okay. Just let us know. You know what I'm saying? And we can go. Bow. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play the buttons first.
I've always liked to
I
play.
did that one. While we're playing these, for those that aren't in the Discord or won't be able to make Sunday brunch, go ahead and start thinking what you would like, and I will write your vote down, and you can vote by proxy. You know what I'm boom, 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 boom.
Leave my mark so everybody sees that you only worship on your phone.
So anybody else? I got MJ's vote. She's going with the Dorian and Manon button. Lisa, you said you can't make brunch. Do you have a recommendation and vote for the button? Anybody that is not going to be able to make brunch this Sunday, you're voting for your new button creation to get voted on. So we're going to take that. Exactly, you made it. And then, oh man, y'all are still writing down. All right, so I got a Manon and Dorian from MJ. I don't know yet. Once we get to the last book, we'll spin I got a spinny wheel. It's behind right there. It's right here. You can't see it, but we'll spin and then we'll go. But I need to know who you want to put in the poll. You're in the Discord, so you can see it there. Okay, so yeah, got you. You can make it. Sean Riddick, gotcha. All right. I need to add. There's the TBR list. Sean, and then we got Riddick. Okay, I gotcha. And then they're going to do a poll. Okay, so we got that. But I'm in the cord. I just didn't click as much as I need. That's funny. Okay, now really quick, I have to tell y'all a quick story, and then I'm going to have to end this because our spring break is ending and our little ones go back to school tomorrow. So that kind of blows, but, they got to learn and stuff. All right, so yesterday after brunch, right, it was Sunday. Originally, we were going to go do an escape room today for the last day of spring break, right? Go out, have some fun, right? Hey, Ash, don't worry about being late. I'm sorry. So we decided we were searching. So they were searching and they found one and they were like, hey, we're going to go do this one. We want to do this one. And I'm like, all right, cool. And it was a local one. So we're like, hell yeah, fucking local. They had a slot. So we're like, why not? So we gonna go do it yesterday. So we went and did it yesterday. Now, as we are inside the escape room, right? We're in the escape room. We're in it. And we're doing really good. I will say this much. We did escape. And we had 19 minutes and 19 seconds left. And we only had to use one hint. It's pretty good, right? Now, the hint that we had to use, it was because you had to spell words. We had to spell words. And they left myself and my youngest daughter, and we both have dyslexia, apparently. Well, she does. I possibly do. We were seeing that I most very well do. But you were supposed to take these chips and put them in groups and then, unscramble the word. And they left the two kids, the adult and the kid with dyslexia, to unscramble the word. There was 4 of them. I got one of the 4. The words were first, second, third, and fourth. I got the word second. For first, I thought it was sifter. I don't know how I thought it was sifter because it's F-I-R-S-T, but I said sifter. That's how far off I was. So, yeah, that's what we freaking, yeah. But we did escape. We escaped. So I was super proud of that. And believe it or not, me and Liz actually didn't do very much. We didn't do very, very much at all. We just kind of like, oh, here, they did. It was pretty cool. So I was like it. I loved it. When my dad left in the English game, he doesn't know English. We had to, a call. That's funny. The car thing? Wait, which car thing, Poonie? Which car thing? How, when we were in the car? What are you talking about? Which car? What car? Oh, Mama. Okay. So, you know when you go into escape room, right? You're not supposed to take cell phones. So we put all our cell phones in her purse and we locked them up, and then we got done with the room and then we left. And then she wanted to run into a store really quick to grab something. And as she got out, the kids were like, hey, can we get our cell phones? And she goes, no, and just took off. And she walked in the store, and the kids are like, what? We don't got our phones. They're like, nah, suck it up. And I'm like, she got my phone too. Mother flubber, she got my phone too. What the hell? So I went and parked down on the side of the building. And then when she came out, she was like, what the hell are they? And then she saw us and she saw me and she was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm walking to the freeway. And she just started walking across the parking lot. And I'm like, what are we doing here? But anyway, yeah, that was our trip yesterday. She got us. Liz got us. She was like, bet. I know you're not going to let nothing happen to me. I'm just going to show you how much of a badass I am. And she walked across the parking lot all by herself. That was funny. But yeah, that was our day. That was our story. I just thought it was funny that they left the two dyslexic kids to do the word scramble. Not kids, me and the dyslexic kid, the two dyslexic people to do the word scramble. So, you know, anywho. All right, folks. But with that being said, I want to congratulate all of y'all tonight. I want to congratulate you all. We have a new record. I'm gonna give y'all 140. You hit stop tapping. Stop tapping. No more tappy. We're done. You hit 140. You're done. You're at 140. Done. All right. I'm ending the stream there. Otherwise, you're gonna make your record too high. No, seriously. So Wednesday, we'll be back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for another 5 of Kingdom of Claw. You are getting a button. The button is going to be voted into the cord. So if you want to get on the Discord, let us know and we will get that out and ready to go. All right, folks. With that being said, until next time.
Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Valbaran Fae.
You are so late. So late staying out here, coming for where you are. So I appreciate you coming out. All right. Have a good one, folks. Until next time. Good night. We will end it with Rune, and with Rune is done, the stream will end. Until next time.
Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Valbaran Fae.
I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Later, D-Dub. Until next time. Thanks, everyone.